I love to read feminist fiction, and I think that using the genre of science fiction is one of the most interesting ways to write a feminist story. So here are some of my favorite feminist sci-fi books that I think that you should add to your TBR. The Grace Year is a YA dystopian novel that takes place in a society that I would say is very Handmaid's Tale-esque. It's very patriarchal, very deeply religious. Every year when a group of girls turn 16, they are all thrown out into the woods to experience what is called the Grace Year. There's a lot of mystery surrounding the Grace Year because all of the women who've already experienced it aren't allowed to talk about it. But what they do know is there are poachers out in the woods, and at the end of every Grace Year, not all of the girls come back. This is a survival story, but nature and the poachers out in the woods are not the only threat to these girls. In fact, they might be the greatest threats to one another. This book is about the scrutiny and the violence that women face at the hands of other women due to the positions that we are put in by men. This book is brutal, especially for YA, but it is so effective at getting its message across. Annibot is told from the perspective of an AI sex robot. She's owned by a man, and her entire programming, her entire existence revolves around pleasing this man. But Annie is a special type of robot. She has her own intelligence. She is sentient. This is a very straightforward analogy for abusive relationships and power dynamics within heterosexual relationships, how women are viewed and valued in society and within patriarchy. I can sit and talk about everything in this book for hours, so I'm gonna have to cut myself short. I have a whole review of this. Iron Widow is a young adult sci-fi novel that is full of female rage. It's so hard to describe, but once you start reading, everything becomes more clear. Basically, in this world, there are like battles between these Pacific Rim Transformer type machines, and women are conscripted to be co-pilots to the men, but they're also concubines. So when the protagonist's sister dies in one of these robot battles, that sounds really corny, I promise it's actually good. She becomes hellbent on revenge and taking down this system from within. It sounds weird. It is weird, but it's action-packed, and Iron Widow is one of those books that I could not stop reading.